Hi everyone, this is Gayle, and today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to measure clay thickness without a pasta machine. So if you have a pasta machine, I'll show you how you can gauge the thickness of each one of your settings, and also if you hear a tutorial where someone might mention so many, number 3 on their pasta machine or 5 cards. I'll tell you, show you what that's all about. So let me turn the camera off for a second while I get this rearranged over my pasta machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here you're looking at my pasta machine, and I apologize that it's not real clean. I'll go ahead and take this out. This is just a little cardstock tray that I made just by folding up some corners and stapling it, that I keep under my pasta machine like this so it catches all the little pieces of clay, or most of the little pieces. There's a few little ones on here, but nowhere near as much as what I used to get. But the first thing you're going to need is a deck of regular playing cards. These are bicycle cards, which is probably the most widely used version or make. It doesn't really matter. Playing cards are pretty much standard. They're all cut from the same type of stock. And what I would do if you're trying to measure your pasta machine is I would get a piece of paper, which I didn't bring a piece of paper over here with me. I'll write on a index card. And I have several different settings. My thickest is a 0, and my thinnest goes all the way up to a 9, which is really, really, really thin. But start on your thickest setting and just write your numbers. I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll just have to put 9 over here. So the first thing you want to do is take a bunch of cards. Now I happen to know that my 0 is 9 cards. So I'm just going to take maybe 6 or I'll just take a handful. Try to fit it through there. It's not going to fit. So you reduce it down a couple cards. It fits if I push it. Let me see how many that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you really don't want to push it. So this fits in there. 9 cards fits in there. I'm going to write down here, this is the setting. And I'll put the number of cards. So I'm going to put 9 to 10 just because they both fit. Now I'll go down to a number 1. And I'll tell you a lot of times that there's not a lot of difference between a 0 and a 1. And again, 9 cards fits in there fine. I don't think 10 would fit. Let me try 10. No, 10 does not fit. So there's only like 1 card difference. So I'm just going to put a 9. And I'm going to go down to number 2. And I'm going to try 9. Of course, they won't fit. So I take out 1. That fits if I push it. So that is 8 cards. So it's probably, I've got 7 written down. 7 fits in there easily. So I'm going to put 7 to 8. Because both of them will fit, but one of them you have to kind of push. So now I'll go down to number 3. Of course, I'm going to try the 7. Doesn't fit. So I take out 1. There's 6. Still doesn't fit. Did that go down? So then there's 5. 5 fits if I force it. If I take out another one and make it 4. 4, all right, so 4 to 5. I've already written down the 5. I should have written the 5 over here. Let me do that. 5. So 4 to 5 cards is number 3. Go down to a number 4. I know 5 cards isn't going to act well. Wait a minute. Did I have an extra card? Let me try this again. Let me go back to number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5. Okay. Thought I had this wrong. My number 3 is 5 to 6. When I went to count these for the next layer, and I had an extra card. So, all right, that's on a 4. And I've got my 5 cards. They won't even go if I force them. So now I've got 4 cards. Okay, so 4 is equal to 4 cards. And you just keep on going on every level. I'll put 4, not even if I force it. So I'm down to 3. So number 5 is 3 cards. Number 6, 3 doesn't go through, but 2 cards does. Okay, there's number 7. That's 2 cards. Won't even go if I force it. So 7 is going to be 1 card. Now this, from here on out, it's going to be hard to measure because you're going thinner. See, an 8 is also 1 card. And a 9 is less than 1 card. That's less than 1. All right, so now I've got those measurements. Let me put this back in here. And I am going to now turn the camera back off so I can move it back over to my work surface. Okay, so now I've got my measurements from my pasta machine. And say I'm going somewhere and I don't want to carry my pasta machine with me. And I want something that is the thickest setting of the pasta machine. If I take this card with me, I see that the thickest setting is a 0, and that's 9 to 10 cards. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you have an extra deck of cards, you can go ahead and tape yours together. So if you wanted to tape 2 of these and just write 10 on here, just wrap it with the tape, maybe adhesive tape. What am I trying to think of? Not adhesive tape. Masking tape. But you could do that. And then take, if you, then when you go to take your clay, This is just scrap. You can just roll in between here. Make sure that your cards are less than the width of your roller. And you just roll until you get to the cards. You can see why, with the amount of rolling that I'm doing, why I use the pasta machine. It's still not level. I started with a thicker piece of clay than I should have for demonstration purposes. But you just roll until it's the same thickness as your deck of your cards. Now what you can do, because you're kind of limited to this, what, 3.5 inches of the card, is take it up off of your work surface, move it down, and then you can roll that section. So I'm going to try to remember, if I can, to give you the playing card thickness when I do my tutorials. I don't know if I'll remember very well. But this piece of clay here is the same thickness as the thickest setting of my pasta machine, because my pasta machine, the thickest setting is 9 to 10 cards, and these are 10 cards. So that's just a little extra thing that I thought I would throw in here. I've had people say that they don't have a pasta machine. What does it mean when I say a number 3? So if you want to copy this down, I'll leave it up for you anyway. So this, at least on my machine, will tell you the numbers that coincide with each setting. This is the setting and the 9. And then this is the number of cards, and that. So hopefully this will help some of you. I know it's difficult when you're getting started with polymer clay. A pasta machine is a pretty big investment to get started, but let me tell you, it is, if you're going to work with clay much at all, it's a real investment. Because see, I folded this in half, so now it's a double thickness. You turn my pot, let me first put it on the thickest setting. I also have a motor on mine. See how much quicker that was than the rolling. And you'll get to a point where you won't want to use your shoulders or your hands that much if you continue to work with clay. So I highly suggest that you get a polymer clay pasta machine. If it just doesn't fit into your budget right now, which I certainly understand, then this will help you, at least as far as my tutorials. Every machine is different. I could take another, this is a Mercado Atlas machine. I could take another identical machine and it may come up with a little bit different measurements, because each machine, you know, it depends on how it's put together and on the gears and just everything. So it fluctuates even within the same make. And every machine is different. Some machines have 9 or 7 or even 5 as their thickest setting. And their thickest setting, you know, would be the high number, and then 1 or 0 would be the thinnest setting. So you know, all I can do is provide what is my measurements. So do a screen print of this card or copy it down, whatever, and then when you hear me use my references to number 3 or number 5 or number 0 or number 1. You'll know exactly how thick I'm talking about. So hope this helps. And I'll be back again sometime soon with some more tips. But this one is something I felt like I really needed to get with you and show you. So have a great day. Bye-bye.